Hello, students. Today we're going to be talking and looking at Sketchup, and we're going to talk about maybe some of the differences between the tutorial videos and the new web-based interface of Sketchup. So before we get started, one of the most important things I would say is to definitely take the tour right here. Don't fly through it like I did, because some of the tools and where they tell you that they are is super important, and it's good to know going forward, especially when we're watching the tutorial videos, which uses the pro version. It looks a little bit different, but it'll help you find all those tools. I'll try my best to show you the same tools and where they're located, but this is still, the take a tour is super helpful. Now, anytime we start, when you log in from your Google account, you'll go to this page right here. Looks different than the old version. But whenever we want to start a project, we always go create new. And I always use feet and inches because that's what we use generally is feet and inches when we are creating something. So this is our simple template. Millimeters and meters are other options, but let's click on this one. And if your internet is slow, this might take a few seconds, but it pops up. Now this is what it's going to look like right away. Now the old version doesn't look like this. However, this is what we're going to get right here. The lady right here is basically to show you your view. Okay, so remember we have the blue axis, the green axis, and the red axis that we can do. Now in the original video that they do, the part 1 video, they talk about going into ISO view. That's the very first thing they talk about. This is ISO view, and that's why we put the girl here, is so that you can tell that she's standing with length, width, and height. So we'll just delete that to start. Now, some important things to know. Here is all of our toolbars. Here is they sometimes call this like the hamburger, the 3-bar. This will take you back. If you hit home, it'll take you back to the original screen right here. Okay. And so we're going to go back into it. Don't save right now. Okay. And so it's going to give us a new one right here. All right. Again, get rid of our gal by hitting delete or backspace. Here's where we're going to title it. So I would always title this project. I would always title this by your name or project 1 or whatever. Okay, so we'll just call it project 1 for now. All right. So in the tutorial, they'll tell you all of the important things. Now, when you're looking at the YouTube videos of your part 1, part 2, part 3 projects, this is different significantly. So you'll notice here is our mouse button right here. We have our eraser. Here's where things start getting nested, okay? And so when things start getting nested, they start having, you click out, and anytime you see one of these little arrows right here, it means that there's multiple things. So we can do line drawing, right? Or we can do scribbling, right? Okay, all of those things are helpful, right? Anytime you want to get rid of something, you can either just click on it and then hit backspace or delete, and it will go away. Here is our rectangles, and they'll talk about in the video how to effectively make the rectangles correctly, right? Also, they'll talk about these inference points right here that are important to know as well. You can always hit back if you don't like what you put in there. We can also use this. We can move about, and here's the orbit, pan, and zoom. Now in the video, they're going to use some terms that maybe you haven't heard of before, or they'll say like, make a rectangle, or make a rotated rectangle, or make a circle. They're all right here, and if you hover your mouse over it, you'll actually see what those are exactly. Another thing that's important to do, especially for when we're turning in projects, and I would say that this is extremely important. If you go here to the hamburger or whatever, I want you to click on print. Okay, so I'm going to draw just a super quick little, we'll make a house. And that's actually going to be our first project, is to create a house. Okay, so I click on my rectangle and I draw it in here, right? I'm going to go to my push pull, and I'm going to pull this up, right? Now I'm going to change my view. Okay, I can do that by orbit, right? So I'm going to orbit over, okay? And then I'm going to zoom out. And again, they'll show you in the tutorial the best way to do this, and some quicker ways to do that, right? Whoops, I'll undo that. Okay. So we can actually do that right there. I'm going to pull this forward right here so we can see the whole thing. All right. And like I said, in the first one, they're actually going to um, show you how to build this house significantly faster. But we're going to take this and we're just going to do it. Okay. And I can, again, they're going to show you how you can change the view much better. But here, we're going to show you this view right here. Okay. So let's say that this was going to be my house. Not very good. But let's say I was going to submit it for points. So you're going to go to your hamburger. You're going to click on print and letter size, which is totally fine. Current view, that's what we generally want because you're going to have your image right here. And down on the bottom, it says print to PDF. And that's super helpful because um, what we can do is if you wanted to print it out and have a physical copy, you could. However, for submitting it electronically, you're going to want a PDF and it's named after the project you have. So again, I always think it's important to go by the project you're on, either the module you're on, or putting the project module and your either initials or name. Okay, so this is probably not a very good one on my part because I just put project one, but it's always important to do that, and then you'll have to find it on your computer to submit. So hopefully this was helpful, a quick tutorial. As you look at the next one, the next video, I would suggest starting part one. I would suggest starting at about 40 seconds, and it is going to look different. And in fact, if you look at it, it's theirs is a Mac version. It's also red. It's from 2016, so it's already 5 years old at this point. They are going to have a lot bigger bar right here, but all of the things that they use are all just nested in here. So don't uh, don't be nervous if you see something that looks different on there. Like for example, push pull, also the move, the different moves, and the orbit, pan, zoom are all next to each other versus in one toolbar. Okay, so if you ever have any questions or anything like that, don't be afraid to email your teacher or if you're unsure of where to go. But this is always a great reference point, and those tutorials are super helpful. So I hope you have an enjoyable experience with SketchUp, and we'll see you soon.